Horizon's too high, it's dark on my side. I made my own clouds, fueled by my pride. The ship falls away, night turns to day. Remember why? Fire consumes, ashes remain. Cannot breathe, cannot see, cannot breathe, cannot breathe, cannot see, cannot breathe. Cannot breathe. Cannot see. Cannot look in between. I cannot breathe, I can't see, I can't look in between. I cannot breathe, I can't see, I can't look in between.
Jag kan inte andas när jag ser hur du går iväg. Jag kan inte andas när jag ser hur du går iväg.
Finally got that music, huh? Right guys? Don't worry, Kyle's coming. He'll be sitting right here in a second. He had to grab a quick thing for the guild. How's everybody doing? How we doing? Everybody live? Everybody well? Everybody having a happy new year? Drew Connolly, I couldn't help you there. I don't really know. It's just the music. I'm just excited. I'm excited that we finally got music. I highly suspect that would work for music selection. Joseph, yeah, Joseph, we got to be careful about what type of music we select because people create that's their own intellectual property, and then what ends up happening is if you have music that you don't have the rights to, you get in trouble, and then YouTube gets mad at you, and next thing you know, you don't have cool music.
Ryan really wants to play Drake, but I told him...
I just learned who Drake was on New Year's. We were listening to the top 100. Why don't you scoot this way a little bit? There we go. How's that look?
Maybe we need to tape the floor.
Tape the floor?
Yeah.
That is good.
Our assigned seats.
That's
but then we have to tape the table, too, for the computer.
Well, why don't we just have Sloan mark it off? We have a nice wooden mango wood table. And
made from mangoes?
It's made from mangoes.
Wow.
The mango wood, actually, just the wood of the tree. But we always have a Sharpie on deck to sign stuff as we're sending things out, or we just want to write. Or sometimes I just like writing with a Sharpie. I get why Donald Trump likes to sign his signature with a Sharpie.
How do you spell your first name?
B-R.
Okay.
And then having a Sharpie around a toddler is, or I guess she's a child now. I don't know how that works with
she's definitely a child because she has to wear a mask on the plane.
Infant, child, toddler. I don't understand where we're at with all that stuff. Speaking of children, shout out to Mr. Roberts, Mr. Todd Roberts, Will Roberts. He has just had a baby today.
Really?
Channel member Will Roberts is in the hospital right now.
Wow.
With, I believe, is was it a son or a daughter?
Congrats.
Was just born today. I'm almost positive, and I think it was a son. I have a 50-50 shot here. But congrats. Okay, Todd. Okay, that's so. By the way, Todd, it's confusing when your name is Will Roberts, but you go by Todd. I get it, like Will, Bob, Rob. No, Robert. No. Anyway,
Why
Robert
do
and
people? Why does that name switch? Like, isn't like
Will and Todd?
What is
Well, I
what
know
switches to
Rob and Bob.
What switches to Dick? It's like
Richard.
Richard.
Richard, that's a strange one.
That
That's a strange flip right there. Danger Will Roberts, yeah. But yeah, congrats to you on the kid. Yep, your son. There we go. So yeah, big congrats for you. I know we were actually talking. You mentioned it today. You're like, I'm gonna have to watch it from the hospital. I was like, well, you can take some time off today. You can take today off if you want to enjoy it. But you know, we do appreciate it. Getting the kid introduced to the Spick and Span show right off the break.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is Mom. This is Dad, and this is Kyle and Ryan.
There you go.
We feel like we're in the room with you right there. So yeah, and also, and Richard, thanks for the reminder. Happy New Year to everybody. This is so far so good. We're going to talk about, we played paintball yesterday, the first paintball of the new year for us.
Yeah, it was a really fun day.
And I understand that, yeah, UK is still locked down pretty strong, but California paintball's...
No, they just did today, like a big lockdown.
Another big lockdown?
Yeah.
Oof.
I saw that in my stock trading group.
And shout out to everybody on the East Coast. We're going to be out there on Friday night. Yep, UK lockdown, schools, harsh lockdowns, new. Oof. Well.
And they said they found some of those new cases, I think, in New York.
Great. I wonder how Boston is. They shut down all golf courses in the UK. You know, if they shut down very high-end, affluent, country club-esque events, then that means they're taking it seriously. You know what I mean? Like if it's like, I don't know, if you're not allowed to play polo,
yeah,
you know, or like I don't know what else do they do, like yacht, like the
yacht club?
regattas, okay, you know, a regatta. If they're shutting those things down, then you know that it's going to be serious, because those are the guys who have all the influence on everything. Like, it's just not shut down the country clubs. Yeah, so good point. And actually, we'll bring that up because we have some NXL updates and some NXL info on potential state venues, not venues as in that actual like where we're gonna go, but most likely the states. Give you and you know, a heads up and an idea. I think we talked about it before about how they choose, where they choose. You know, just draw a little circle in a 4-hour radius of a spot and just kind of see what kind of paintball's around there and how easy it is to fly in. And then
got some giveaways, of course. Yeah, as always.
We got some
that's why you guys are here.
Yeah, that's the only reason everybody's here. Actually, that's a good point. Last month in December, we gave away. We gave away 2 pairs of goggles, a gear bag, a pair of pants, a bunch of T-shirts, a lot of T-shirts, a couple of those Dynasty patches. I had it all written down.
Everything.
Yeah,
like total.
Yeah, well, I hadn't gotten through. I hadn't done everything, but like there was a ton of stuff.
$250 gift card.
A $200 gift.
That was very lackluster presentation by us.
That was on us.
We poisoned ourselves.
And like I said last show, we're gonna kick things off big with the January New Year's Happy New Year giveaway, and it's gonna be one of the Team USA limited edition JT Pro Flexes. So someone's gonna get this thing showing up at their door sometime. At the end of this week, probably. And yeah, ICPL booked out there. And as everybody knows, we want to thank you guys for your support, all the memberships that we got. Shout out to David Reed. Oh no, I did see that, David. I was going through the memberships today. YouTube won't let you get it back. That's what happens when you play unlicensed music. Things like that. You play unlicensed music and then YouTube yells at you. And there's also going to be a little bit of trivia. I got a good trivia one.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I got a good one.
Wow.
It has to do with this right here.
Okay.
Okay. Like what? You know,
okay, yeah. We don't know how sensitive this microphone is.
Yeah,
be careful.
True. Okay.
We need to learn sign language.
So, David, we'll get you back on there. We'll figure out a way to get you back on there. And we have ways of working things out.
You got this sweet carbon hat.
We got a carbon hat for you guys, and yeah, like I said, some really good content here as far as what we're going to be going through. Now we want to take a minute because it is 2021 and we're going to be moving. Everything's moving forward right now. We're going to be kicking things off, like we said, with the combine next weekend, one at the end of the month. But also for a lot of you guys who wanted to get a leg up, we were out at the field this weekend, and there were 2 of the Team USA kids, the Trent, Nita, and Sean Strung, out there kind of like practicing and playing. Yeah. And paintball is really like, there was a ton of people out there this weekend. Yeah. There was a ton of people out there, and it was actually really cool to see. But we wanted to talk a little bit about the notable pros or notable players that came up to the BKI, the Combine, the Team USA, or the summer camp programs. Which is
and this is perfect too, because I wanted to talk about Sean and Trent as well, and talk a little bit on that as well. So. Yeah.
And so, we got to play with them, against them, actually more against Trent than anyone else.
Yeah, and Sean played with us.
And Sean played with us the majority of the time. But we got a lot of big names that came up through there. A lot of team or pro players or players who have played pro. Yeah. Also, speaking of memberships and the members, everybody who, and I know I've been saying this for about a month now, the new posters for the Mega Support Status members are going to be in. Also, big shout out to Island Designs with the Spick and Span hot temperature coffee mugs.
Translucent.
Yeah, translucent. Was it translucent? Can you see right through it?
I don't know, but I like that word.
That's a good word. Yeah, we're going to call them these the translucents. Yeah. We got you, David Reed, coming in. We'll bump him up.
Oh, yeah. Appreciate it.
With the hot air horn right there. So we'll be shipping these things out this week as well. I'll try to get there tomorrow. I do have a huge adventure planned for tomorrow, and I don't know if I want to call it an adventure in a good way.
Oh yeah,
I have to go down to Mexico to go to the dog dentist. Rose has been having pretty chronic bad breath for a long time, and to get her teeth cleaned here is like $2,500. Yeah. Because they have to put her under. You have to put to get the dogs like.
Well, it's really, not. Yeah, is it just cleaned or is it?
Well, they might pull. They're gonna have to pull whatever needs to be pulled, and if you go down to Mexico, which is literally 45 minutes, 30 minutes down the road, probably. As a matter of fact, the park that's 2 blocks up the street, you can see Mexico from up there. So
it's really easy getting in.
It's really easy getting into Mexico.
It's quick to get down there.
Yeah, they don't care who comes in.
No, getting back.
But getting back is more of a pain in the ass. But
getting back takes longer than I think the whole trip.
Usually, yeah. Like we go surfing sometimes, and like from my door to get in the water down there, you could be in the water in under an hour, about 45 minutes. But getting back is longer than the drive, the surf, the lunch, checking out a couple of different spots while we're looking for where we want to surf, and then you sit in the line coming back for like several hours.
But I'm happy you guys are doing that because
her breath is ripe.
I used to love cuddling with Rose. Now I'm a little bit more distance.
So actually, a lot of people go down there for Oliver used to go down there like once a month to get his regular teeth cleaned.
Yeah, I know a lot of people. I know a lot of people.
Yeah, it's you can get high quality work down there for cheap. You just got to make sure you look through the Yelp. It's not like you just drive around and go, I could just go for a dentist today. I'm just gonna go try my luck and drive around. You got to do some research prior. But a friend of ours actually just had their dog's teeth pulled also.
Oh wow!
So that's what we're doing tomorrow. So I might ship these things out tomorrow. Might ship them out the day after. But pretty cool. Shout out to Island Designs. We'll put a little link into his thing. He does a lot of the printing. He does all the PTG printing also. Yeah. This shirt is Island Designs too.
Marcelo just gave me this shirt
yesterday?
Yesterday, yeah.
Well, that was cool. He didn't give me one?
Well, he gave it to me the night before.
What a schmuck, huh? Can you believe that? Can you believe that? Davis Jeffrey has a good question, and you might have already have you guys talked about that?
Let me answer that. Another question, I don't know if you answered this, but are we giving that ProFlex away for non-members, or is it members only?
Members only. Members only. Members only. That's the perk of being a member. You get your name added to the wheel, and we spin that thing. Mega Support Status members get 2 names on the board, while everybody else gets 1. So we'll make sure, David, I'm going to put your name in there right now. Back on there, actually. I deleted you today, so no hard feelings.
that
question.
Davis asked, does Impact have a contingency plan for if none of the Canadians can play in 21? So, well, two things. The Canadians could play, and they could have played World Cup. The issue was that through their quarantine laws, they would have had to come back and quarantine for 2 weeks. And just because of, where they're at with, career-wise and the car dealerships group that they own, they were so busy because of all the craziness this year, and probably because they're a little bit short-staffed, that they couldn't take that time away from their own careers. So, but I'm sure that will get worked out next year. But in the worst case scenario, we'll just handle it just like we did World Cup. We'll take our other
Pick
guys.
up Jerry Carl back.
Yeah. But we have, we got picked up Matt Jackson, so.
That's right.
Yeah. So we'd have 7.
And then, have you guys heard anything back from J-Rab? Is he 100%?
J-Rab says he's in. I know he had a little bit of difficulties with work, but from what he said, that he's going to be able to handle that all for next year. So.
Yeah, he's becoming a EMT or paramedic. Is that the same thing?
I believe it's paramedic, but maybe even firefighter.
Yeah, the goal is to become the firefighter. I think you have to go through the smaller parts first, to get to the top one. Maybe. I'm not sure. Yeah,
because isn't that what Red had to do?
Yeah, but he did EMT paramedic, and then got into then did fire school. Actually, who could answer that if Mr. Steven Hernandez is in here. He's our local the firefighter that we got in here. Not sure if he's in here or not.
So, to answer your question, hold on, I'm just writing a note here down. Justin, you said, did I have any throwback gridlock jerseys and long sleeves? I have, I believe, a gridlock hoodie and a gridlock t-shirt, and then my red proto gridlock jersey that I don't believe I'll be selling any 3 of those items. So
the proto jersey is really cute. It's like size small.
Yeah,
it's like a child's medium.
What I'd want for it, you don't want to pay. So I've had a couple people. So I like to keep one jersey at least from every team, because and I don't know if I've told you this, but like what I want to do is get a really big glass frame, and I want to put the team name fold up small and put them like all consecutive in like a timeline
on a big one
on a big
wall.
Yeah, just like have that one frame, not the full jersey, but just like
you're gonna cut
rolled
the name
up.
Oh, rolled up.
No, just rolled up, and I'll put it in there, and then I'll have this huge timeline. But yeah, I mean, I've had a couple of people ask me for that gridlock jersey, and I've told them I think $3,000. So it's probably not going to go anywhere.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is a lot of people. It's funny because when I showed everybody my signature series collection of guns, I went onto the Facebook page really quickly, because there was like a Facebook Planet Eclipse group chat, and tons of people were bagging on me, like, oh yeah, like, guys, of course they sold all their stuff, because I was trying to get 2 guns that had gotten stolen from me.
Yeah,
because I kept my guns also at the end of the year, and it's like, some of the guys were like super harsh on pro guys. They're like, all they do is just sell all their stuff. They don't care about anything to hold on to anybody or do this. And I'm like, Jesus, man. And I had to have Dizon go in there and defend me because I wasn't part of the group.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, hey, Dizon, will you tell these guys what's up, please? And so he went on there and defended my honor for a second to let everybody know that, like, I keep all that stuff. And I actually keep a jersey from every year of Dynasty also, and those are all in storage right now as well. I had them in my closet. You remember, you've seen them in my closet before. That was like, took up half of my closet, and I'd always had a big closet. And then obviously when I had the big step for me in my relationship with Camille about 6 years ago was letting her have that closet space. I was like, okay, you can keep some clothes in here, but they have to fit next to my jerseys. And then she's like, dude, get rid of these jerseys. I go, I'm not getting rid of them. I'll put them somewhere. And so like, I had them in there I had a space in a closet for my jerseys for 20 years basically. So I had keeping one from every year, and I think I had 17 years worth of jerseys. I had all-star jerseys. I had all this stuff. There was a big space in my closet that was held up for my jerseys, and I remember that was like my big compromise right there. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, fine.
Yeah.
So shout out to our newest mega support member, Mr. Brandon Fissette. Thank you for upgrading your status.
Appreciate
Shout out
you.
to Dizon. Happy New Year!
Yeah, Dizon.
Also, we
Thank
got
you.
some new emojis, and as a matter of fact, I'm gonna toss one up here real quick.
I still can't use any of them.
You can't use any of the emojis, huh?
No.
Just become a member.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Those are all locked. That's funny. I wonder how you can't get any of those. You can see them though.
Yeah.
That's good. That's a nice little tease. So we got the Spick and Span logo that we've got in his emoji. We've got another type of air horn right here that Jacob just tossed in there. Yep.
Jay Sue said he talked to J-Rab and he's good. So this is, one of
really?
one of the reasons Jay Sue probably knows everything. So
Okay, interesting.
do you have something next? Someone asked about aftermath pickups?
Who do we got? What do we got?
The only other new person that I heard that they got that we haven't said on here and hasn't been released is Brustleback.
Oh, they did get Brustleback.
Yeah, is what I've heard. Yeah.
Look at that. You heard
So-
it first.
And I believe there might be another DMG player that I don't remember who it was, or maybe a player from up north that moved down to San Diego. But so Joe Barrett, Josh Halberg,
And then
and
another
Brustleback,
one?
and then maybe one more.
Because when Mike said last weekend, he was like, we might have 6 or 7 guys. And one thing that Mike always said was, no spot's guaranteed.
Yeah.
Right? So it doesn't matter who you are or how much
Credibility
you
yeah.
have or how long you've been in the league or any of that stuff. It's not a guarantee that you're on the team. And that was
Sure.
actually something we touched on a couple times before.
Yeah.
And actually, with that being said, like, we may as well go into this because I've been talking with players quite a bit about what they should do, what their next step. Like Trent, Nita, and Sean Stern, and a couple of the other USA kids. And they're kind of like, hey, I have an opportunity to play with a lower end pro team, or should I play with a kind of more established semi-pro team, right? And we'll also kind of like talk about that Luca kid who just came out and played really well this weekend too. He's kind of like, what should I do? Like, where should I go? What should I play on? Should I play on a team in the bottom 2 or 3 in the pro league, or should I try to go for like a team that's on the top tier? And try to get on their squad and maybe just kind of like be the practice guy.
Yeah.
And it's really tough, because on those bottom tier teams, it seems like they're not asking the right questions.
Mm-hmm.
Not the individual pro players, not like Trent or Sean or one of them. They're not asking. It's the guys that are on the team. The questions are not getting answered properly. And we've talked about this about like, should I listen to my coach? And of course you should to a certain extent, but if the coach is kind of leading the blind, leaving the blind, and actually Marcus, who came by today, said something funny. He's like, it's mouth breeders leading savages, right? It's like two kind of like thoughtless entities, kind of like blind leading the blind, same sort of concept. And not saying that some of these teams aren't capable of getting better, but there's a clear and definitive reason. There's a clear problem that they're running into that keeps them in the bottom 5 year after year.
Yeah. I mean, that's why you see commonly, like, if a professional, NBA team or NFL team, if they're doing bad, but they have the right players, it's like, you got to go. Sorry.
Yeah, and I mean, in those pro sports also, like, I think that they're too highly scrutinizing on the coaches.
Yeah, true.
Like it's not, and I've said this too, I've been pretty vocal about this. It's not like it's Rusty's fault that I missed a guy, or that I decided not to make that move.
Yeah.
Right, with all the variables. And same thing. It's like, it's not, I don't know what coaches got fired, but I don't even know a player on the Jets, to be honest. But it's not like the coach's fault always that this guy, when he turned around, the pass was too high or he dropped it. Or I saw a bunch of memes about like Evan Ingram dropped a ball yesterday or something. And is it Evan Ingram's fault, or is it the coach of the Giants' fault? It's
funny you said that because I had an experience like that at WCPL, and I hate to rag on my shooters guys, but they know this specific game. There was a team that we had to play at the end of our prelims, and I scouted every one of their games, all 3. And then when we played them, they were doing. I knew exactly what bunkers they were going to go to, almost exactly every point, fully for them. I set up where we're going to shoot the guys off the break, and I even had it dialed into, hey, we're going to shoot these 2 guys, and then this player is going to try to break down the Dorito side because we've shot their snake side, and he's going to try to win the game. And that's what's going to happen. That's how the game's going to go. First 2 points, shoot the guys that we wanted off the snake side, and then what happens? We're in a 5-on-3, and the guy comes down the Dorito side, shoots all of our guys, and I was like, I told you guys all this before. So that was, but afterwards they're like, we're sorry, we blew. Thank you for all what you did going into that game. But.
Yeah, and I mean, I had a similar thing, and that the exact same scenario happened. It's like, I know what these guys are going to do. Here's what they're going to do. Shoot him when he moves. So there's only so much that the coach can do. But if it's event after event after event after event, it's like there's something wrong with that. And so the bottom line is like, say an up-and-coming semi-pro kid or like a guy or something, or if you were asking me prior to going pro, it's like, hey, should I join Dynasty when their roster's full at 10 guys? Could I join Dynasty and like, will I get a lot of reps? Yeah. Probably not. And that's kind of like what happened with Matt Kling too. It's like we brought him on the team. We were expecting him to be a little bit better than he was, but what happened was I suggested, hey, we should put him on a semi-pro team. Let's help him like by placing him on a semi-pro team, because he was practicing with Dynasty. Yeah. Which is great. It sounds like a great experience. Yeah. But he's not getting all the reps. Yeah. Right? He's not getting a ton of reps with us even in practice, especially on the Sunday prior to the event. And then when he comes to the event, he played like 5 points an event, which is a really cool experience.
Well, Ironman let me do that when I first got on the team.
Oh, they did?
Because I wasn't good enough to be on the actual roster. Right. So they let me play semi-pro in Phoenix with R&T, All-Stars. Right, yeah. And then the next event, I actually played with Entourage when they were pro, with like Bear and Dalton and Rainey. Okay. They just said, if you play us, you're not allowed to play. And I'm like, well, I'm still not better than a lot of these guys. Are you sure you want me to tell them that I can't play? Because it might be better for you guys. No. But I did the same thing,
Yeah, and I think that's like an important kind of takeaway is like, if that's the case, then that's great, because you're getting way more reps on a semi-pro team when you're not quite at the top of the pro level. Yeah. And I think you get more experience out of it than playing with a bottom of the barrel pro teams, because also a lot of times if you're a younger kid and you're coming up and you go from semi-pro to pro, no matter what level that team is on, especially if they're kind of like on the bottom ranks, they're probably like, hey, he's all right. He just doesn't have the experience, because obviously those guys don't know what they're talking about to begin with. Yes. Or they struggle to understand everything that they are supposed to be talking about. So like, that's the tricky part, right? That's the part where a lot of people struggle and a lot of teams. And so trying to give some advice is kind of like, I would recommend, if that's what you want to do, ask and figure it out. Mm-hmm. And then, but if you're not going to get a strong answer or a lot of reps on a pro team, don't keep spending and beating your head against the wall. 'Cause some pro teams are like, yeah, come on out. Like, we'll take you. Yeah. I know that the Ironmen in the past have done, and a lot of teams are doing these tryouts at the beginning of the year, and it's like, come on out. It's $30 and $50 a case, or $30 a case. And you're like, you go out there for the weekend, you go out there and you should go out to like see where you're at. Yes. But if there's not going to be a very strong answer and you're feeling like you might be getting strung along, it's like you got to shit or get off the pot kind of thing.
Hey, really quick, sorry to pause you, but guys, we do see your questions here, trying to figure out the membership thing. So don't panic. We can help you with that. I think Dylan's trying to upgrade his membership.
Yeah, there should be a way to click back on that join button, I believe. And then once you've, let's see here. Oops. Let's see here. You should be able to. I've seen it before. I've looked at it before, and I'm not entirely sure exactly how you do it. But I think if you click the join button again, it'll take you back to there, and it should upgrade.
Cody said he was trying to upgrade.
All right, Billy McCartney, how'd you do it? We need step-by-step instructions.
So, where were we on that?
So, yeah, just kind of talking about like where you should go, what steps you should take, and is sacrificing your experience that you're going to be getting, like so I guess it's a quantity versus quality thing, right?
Yeah.
But to get pro, to play pro, to be competitive in pro, you need to have reps.
Yeah, and tournament reps. I mean, I would say playing a full tournament might be equivalent to, I don't know, 10, 15 days of good practice, because there's such a different, so many levels to like playing practice and your skill level in practice, because you don't have as good quality of paint, you don't have referees there, you don't have the time against you, and a lot of times where you're rushing onto the board and the person who's running the game's waits, obviously.
Right.
So you don't have all these variables that the tournament format gives you and makes you understand, and it forces you to learn through failure, which is like if you didn't get ready fast enough, you can't get to the board and you don't play, like doesn't get magnified in practice. And if you do that at a tournament and then you see your team lose a point, that you're going to take that hard on yourself and you're not going to let it happen again. So you need those little variables that if you're not getting those reps, you're not playing. Because then there's even more to that. There's like how you're going to play in the prelims versus like how you're going to play on that, then on Sunday is a whole different level, and then the finals is a whole different level. And it takes a while to build up consistency in each one of those dimensions, in a sense. And if you take that jump and you're seeing, it's hard for me to say what's best, because I kind of went up that way as well. It wasn't necessarily like I went straight from like D2 to pro, but I went from like D3, I played like one event in D2, then I went straight to like Division 1 semi-pro, and I played like half a year there, and then went to pro. But in semi-pro it took me like 3 events to even be okay in that division, and then it took me like almost like 2 years to be okay and decent in pro. So there's pros and cons of doing that. And I know, so Brandon Trujillo went up this weekend and he went out and tried for DMG.
Did you hear how he did?
And so I think on Saturday he struggled a little bit, but from what I've heard, I talked to Dave, and then Mario.
I haven't talked to Mario.
Mario, if you're in here, I know you sent me a Facebook message and I didn't fully read it. Sorry, but it looks like Brandon is getting invited back out to
there we go.
DMG. He said he's feeling good with the organization. He's feeling really comfortable with all the guys, and looks like they're going back out there a lot. So
good.
Awesome.
Well, congrats on getting a call back there. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if I wanted to go into these three guys a little bit. Why, and this kind of segues into, we always talk about it. You guys probably are tired of hearing it so much about like why the BKI program and camp and everything that we do through that is so good. And my biggest thing, the biggest like advocate for the whole program is, I always say, is because of the relationships that you're building.
Yeah.
Like, Sean Stern is a good example. We've been working with Sean for a few years now, and I think you and Marcelo even longer than I have. But because I built a relationship with him, he eventually was like, hey, if there's any pickup weekends you guys go out as pros just to play, like, do you mind if I just come? I'll pay for a flight to come out there. And he reached out to me like a week and a half ago, and he's like, hey, are you guys playing this next weekend? I was like, actually, we are. And because I know Sean, and I want to help him because of what we've already built, and I see his commitment, I said, hey, you can come out here and you can stay with us and drive with us, and then I'll drop you back off and pick you up from the airport, and you can come out and get some reps with us. So he actually did that, and got to play with us all yesterday. But it's not like, that's what you really have to do as this player when you're striving to, be a pro player is your end goal. is you have to like not besides all the work is you have to build relationships with these guys, because like I'm saying that now, but like if if a random person's messaging us like, hey, can we come play, that to be frank, the answer is going to be no.
Well,
like
and I get a lot of those messages.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, well, come out. We're not taking any guys right now, but come out, introduce yourself, say hi, maybe play at Pendleton on the side, but watch our practice. And that's another really big thing. Sorry to interrupt you. Is like a lot of people are like, and I love this, right? I love the enthusiasm about saying taking the initiative, because we always say that, like, take the initiative, go out there and like try to like ask.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But what you do need to pay attention to, and something that's really important, is go out. If you don't know, if you're not already in the divisional ranks, right? Chances are it's not gonna work out very well.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean you shouldn't go out and watch. Go see a dynasty practice. Go see an impact practice, because you can also look at it and go, I can do that.
Yeah.
Or maybe I can't do that. And that's also why I've always said, if there's a local NXL event in your region, you should go out there and watch.
Yeah.
Because you're going to go out there and go, oh, man, the NXL's the big leagues. Like, I don't know if I can handle this.
Yeah.
And you go out there and you watch, and you're a D3 player, and you watch D3 and go, oh, I could do this.
Yeah.
Like, that's not as scary and as intimidating as I thought.
And to continue with that, like, another point I wanted to touch on is also just, like, your effort and what you put into it when you show up to one of these practices. I had a long talk with one of our buddies the weekend that you were at, I think, at the big game thing at Jungle, but one of our buddies came out, and Brandon was also out there this weekend, and this is one of our buddies who plays a little bit, but he's not really like fully showed a lot of commitment, and he was, we weren't really like playing him that much, and I was like, after the day, I told him, like, hey, like, you can't come to me and expect to play, and I don't see that you're putting in effort. You don't, like, you can't just go in and out of this thing when you want, because that's not what I did. And I have other, kids that we're trying to help and groom here that are putting in a lot of effort, and this is all they care about, and this is like, their dream entirely. It's unfair for us as ambassadors of the sport to, pick a side and give you, favoritism when the other kids are out here working hard. Just because you're our boy. And I think that actually like set in with him. Yeah, and he's like, I'm sorry, I'll show you that. And like, that's a big thing, when we go teach these clinics, and it should be something that you guys should all look for too. If you don't feel like, maybe you're not getting recognized or whatever it is, like, see, whether it's in your team or whether it's like guys at your field that are really thriving, like, maybe just go run some questions by them and be like, what, not just on the field questions, like, what makes you good? What do you do off the field, and how do you talk to people, and how do you talk to your coach? That, you can tell when those guys are like, the coach is always coming up to that one player and he's like, hell yeah, like, and he's always boosting that guy. And it is, if you, I know you could probably say the same thing, it's like effort, and like, even if the guy's not that good, if you can tell that, like, you can look at people when you're talking to them and see that there's guys like fully like listening, and then the other guys are like, messing with their gun or like kicking some sand or something, and you're just like,
you're like, hey,
and you're like, okay, well, that's going in a mental note for me, like, we don't want, unfortunately, it's a hard road, but like, we don't want to pay attention to those people that are not, they don't care as much as the guys. Even if
you care.
Even if you have a guy that's semi-pro and he's really good, and then you have a kid that's D3 that has a lot of potential, you want to curate that more so than a guy that doesn't care. So there's a lot that goes into that, but back to what I was saying, like Sean and Trent and Brandon and those guys, and they show a lot of effort, and they're constantly doing whatever they can and using the resources that they've built to try to help them in these situations. So that's something that everyone should take account of and think about. Like that same thing with that Luca kid you were talking. There was a kid out there this weekend. I think I was watching some videos actually, and a lot of the videos, it's like almost him every point, and he's like crushing every point. I'll show it to you later. I was watching it last night.
Video?
Yeah, there's like a
he played well.
20-minute long video. But he's from Brazil, and he came up and talked to every one of us personally and was like, asked us some questions and like,
Yeah,
hey,
said,
what do
"Hi,
you
let me get a
think?
picture,"
And
like, notice me.
Yeah,
Right?
and then like, came up and wasn't scared to ask those questions, and that's what we're looking for,
And that's kind of what I said to Trent and to Sean, right?
Yeah,
is they were out there and they're like, oh, well, we've kind of thought this was going to be kind of like an aftermath practice to a certain extent, and I was like, well, it is. Just because you're not playing with the aftermath squad doesn't mean that if you dunk on them, people are going to notice, right? Yeah. And that's why that Luca kid was first. He was like, just kind of came out there like, hey, how do I jump in?
Yeah.
And then someone's like, yeah, jump in with us. Next thing you know, he's playing on violence against us.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and then we were the pro squad, and then he was playing again.
Yeah, and then even when we went to Jungle the previous weekend, Brandon came out there to play with us, and then Mike Hinman brought him over to run with the pro squad for the rest of the day.
Yeah. So it's about getting out there and gaining that experience, and just quickly I just want to stop for a second and give everybody a shout out to Andrew, to Cody McDaniels, to everybody who just joined the mega support status. We do appreciate that support. We didn't want to let you guys go. Fort Key, thanks for the donation. I'll give you your shout out here in a second. Cody, big shout out to, I know when I married my husband, paintball is going to be our life. That's fantastic. That's great. My question is to you two, is who has more closet space for jerseys in the closet between you and the husband? Closet space is always a fight in my relationship, so I just want to know how that works out. Are you allowed to have any of your jerseys in the closet? Don't know if that's a thing anymore. To answer Fort Key's question, what do you think the annual cost to fund a top pro team is? It varies, obviously. So if you're talking about the all expenses paid, because I know that there's a lot of the pro teams don't get all the expenses paid. So if you're talking about a free gear and not paying any of the players, how about that? We'll just say not paying any of the players, and you got to fly guys in. So our budget would be, without paying anybody, it would probably be just to turn the lights on for World Cup. When they said we're doing World Cup, it was probably $15,000 an event. You're talking about plane tickets for 10 players. Two staff members, hotels for 12 people, rental cars for 12 people. That's 3 rental cars, and then we don't cover
depending on your paint situation.
I'm just talking about just getting getting guys there, and then entrance fees another $3,000 an event. Yeah. If you throw paint into the equation, obviously we're sponsored by HK Army, so shout out to them for the funds and everything, and we have players that are in San Diego, California, and Northern California, Southern California, Mexico, and Arizona. So we have that. Impact, on the other hand, their hotel budget is substantially higher than
ours. We're like $5,000 an event.
And then their guys are from all over the nation, flying in. You guys do fly into the same place pretty much for most of the time, always in Sacramento. But then you look at a team like Houston Heat, same thing. Like their budget's big, but they save on hotels because they all stay at one of the houses. Most of the time. Yeah. So like. But
they also, they're flying in 2 Russian players.
They are also flying in Russian players as well. And then as it ticks down a little bit, you go to like a team like Revo, or Damage. Damage, I know, gets a lot of their stuff paid for as well. Damage. Oh, Damage. Yeah. I know they get a lot of their stuff paid for as well. Ironman, it's like they're on the cusp. I mean, they're making sure that they're flying Frontier Airlines. Getting there as in a budget as possible. So about for
I know even
it's expensive.
Corey Hall told me that Elevation, they paid for their flights.
Yeah, and I think DMG pays for a good amount. I know a lot of those lower end pro teams pay for a lot, but that also depends on like an AC Dallas program. If there are feeder teams underneath you, then that helps subsidize that budget. Sure. So if you have a semi-pro, a D2, and a D3 team, then usually the pro team is funded through all that. Yeah. Usually. Yeah. So it's tough though, and I mean that is a really good question. Some teams have a bigger budget than others. Ours is, we were just talking about it like Mouse, because Mouse was making fun of us yesterday. But he's like, you guys are the cheapest pro team out there, and I'm like, what are you talking about? We're at the mercy of our budget. And we've always been in a unique spot where we've had some of the guys in the history of the sport, we've had some of the highest paid players, and then we also have like some fit into the budget. So depending on whatever sponsorship dollars that Dynasty gets, it goes out the door.
Yeah.
We don't end our bank account, unfortunately, at the end of the year with anything in it at the end, which is unfortunate. That's a great way to run. That's not the best way to run a business. I guess I think that's business 101. Try to have more money at the bank account than in the beginning of the year. So
Jay Sue said, believe it or not, energy players paid for nothing last year. That is a different. I mean, there's semi-pro and D1 teams that also don't pay for anything as well. That's also a little bit of organizational structure and management and who owns the team. What type of financial background they have, because they might be able to have those dispensable funds.
Right. I mean, and like look at the Russians. Their sponsorship is not paying for 10 people, 12 people to come over here.
Yeah, I mean, that's got to be 20.
Who are they even sponsored by? MacDev or Dye?
Yeah, Dye.
Dye.
Yeah.
So Dye, I promise you, is not spending $150,000.
Bob Long, I think
yeah.
Bob Long guns.
We would
you guys cut their contract.
Yeah.
Oh, you cut it, yeah.
So it also hinges heavily on who owns the team and what level of support they want to give to their players, or they can.
Yeah.
You know, so some people can give more of a support, and some people would love to, but they can't. Like I would love to be able to pay all of my friends a lot of money to play on our team, which we can't.
I mean, in a way,
yeah.
Something interesting, just a little juicy tidbit here too, is like we, as a team, as Impact, and I'm completely okay with the decision because I think it's right, and as an owner, I would want my players to think it's right as well. Is we didn't get paid through the whole year. You know, we got, our salary for the first event and then the portion for playing World Cup. But those 3 events in the middle where we weren't playing, we didn't get paid for those, which is like, we're getting paid per an event. So if we're not playing those events, I understand why we don't get paid. But I know I'm pretty sure the Houston Heat players got paid through the whole season, which is great. Obviously I would love to have that extra income, but I understand it, and I would hope that if I was the owner, people would understand that too.
Yeah.
It's like,
for sure. Yeah.
If that's your structure, then you got to be okay with it.
And I want to go through. If you got another question around, or
no.
I want to go through really quickly with another plug to BKI about the pros or the notable guys that have come up through the BKI program, which is the BKI Combine, the BKI online training program, the summer camp, and the Team USA. So Brandon Unger from Thunder, Mike
it's now Aftermath.
Who's now in Aftermath.
Yep.
Mike
you guys all heard all that here first.
Yeah, you guys all heard that.
We thought it was allegedly, but you found out.
Yeah.
I guess it was true.
It was
It was a good guess on our part.
Mm-hmm. We should come up with like a new code thing where when we say allegedly, it really means yes. So that way, when someone tries to bust us, if friends who told you guys? We're I don't know. We said allegedly.
Yeah, but you guys can't tell anyone.
Yeah.
What allegedly means.
Yeah, don't tell anybody. So Brandon Unger, Mike Urena, Matty Kling, Alex Rosati, Tim Stetzel, both those NYX guys came up through the Boston Combine, BKI members through the Bandit Camp and the Preferred Mob Camp. And that's another thing is if you guys are a coach, a team, or you have a buddy, or there's you have 5 guys, it's okay if you split a BKI membership.
Yeah.
Just share the login. I mean, I use Kyle's Netflix in here, and my mom's in my room. It's okay.
What?
It's okay. We can share. We can share. Austin Beatty, who's on AC Diesel, came up through the Combine BKI program. Team USA. He was on the summer camp also. He's now an official assistant professor.
Yeah.
So we're trying to train him to be able to train people. Christian Martinez from the Ironman,
who had a great event.
Had a really good event.
He started a little slow, but he actually played better in the harder
matches.
Those levels I was talking about. He played better, even on Sunday too.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And then Harrison Stanton, who plays semi-pro right now. Then we're looking at Trent Nita, who's guested with TMG. He's also guesting with TMG. T as in trade, not D as in
Texas.
What does D stand for on DMG?
I think it's
demolish my gun.
No, I think it's
when you don't know how to dive properly. Demolish my gun.
It's an acronym for 3 words.
That's usually
it's devotion.
Oh,
motivate.
Okay.
I don't know.
Devotion,
I forget.
grit,
I should know that. Yeah.
And gluten. Devotion, motivation, and gluten. Okay, so anyway, Harrison Stanton. Trent Nita's going to play with TMG.
Dedication makes greatness. Thank you, guys.
There we go. Thank you.
They beat you to it, J. Stu. Sorry.
Sean Stern, who's also on Team USA. Jackson Frey, who had an offer to play pro but wanted to finish out the season with his buddies. So tons of players out there that are in the league playing pro.
And Trent got to run with X Factor.
He's run with X Factor. He's right on the cusp there as well. He's been doing a lot. A lot of those guys have been doing a lot with that the Texas teams and out there, and it was just it's just been kind of like slow for them right now. Obviously, It's a little tough at the moment. So
we want to hit Fortkey's other question. He's coming with some good heaters.
Yeah,
I like it.
Can you build, or can you create a legitimate team, a winning team for under 100K a year?
Let's put it.
I think so because I think Infamous did it. I think Infamous has done it. And by winning, okay. So now here's what's the definition of winning? Do you win? Do you make it to Sunday on a regular basis? Do you make the top 4, or do you have to win an event? You have to win an event in a season, because there's teams that are getting paid a lot of money that can't even do that.
Yes.
So winning a pro event's very, very difficult. But creating a winning season, like if you look at football or baseball, like a winning season is if like you won your division.
Yeah. So just to give you like a quick breakdown, if we're just talking about kind of those numbers that Ryan was running earlier, let's just say 12,000, and that accommodates for like if you're a little bit of extra, whatever. If you want to say 10,000, that's 60,000 for 5 events, and that doesn't include practices. So I mean, then that leaves you 40,000 to mess around with, whether
and then you gotta budget at least a minimum of 2 weekends of practice per event.
Yeah.
So then you gotta bring guys in for that.
Yeah.
So
it's tough.
That's a
I don't want
really,
to say
really
it's
tough one.
out of the question, but like,
and you can do it by doing something like, for instance, if you were a team out of Florida, you might be able to do it, and you had a lot of your base in Florida, because you got to think like if there's an event in Florida, there's an event on another event in the East Coast, like there's a Chicago event, and you don't have to fly a bunch of guys in to the same place every time and then fly out to each event.
Yeah.
That's a possibility, but that's a really tough one, because then you got to pay guys.
Yeah. And a big part of that is, getting a paint sponsorship is a huge part of that.
And that's going to be even more difficult right now.
Yes. So that's a big part, because you're going from, I don't really know the numbers on this, but like, what is it? Maybe
you
like
need
1,000.
So you need 1,400 cases of paint to play pro, to be competitive.
Yeah.
That's
for the whole year. Is that practice included?
That's through the whole year.
So 10 practices minimum.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's what the paint budgets are for the top teams, is 1,400 cases.
Okay.
So it's 400 cases for 5 events, 400 or 500 cases for the NXL events, and then another 1,000 cases of paint, which equates to 50 cases a weekend per practice.
So let's just say if you had those 1,400 cases in, let's just say you paid $20 a case, if you weren't able to get a full sponsorship, that's about almost $30,000.
And the way to get around that is to align yourself with a high-end field, right? So X Factor gets around it, because not only are they competitive, but they run their paint sponsorship through credits through the X Factor Paintball Park. Damage does the same thing. Dave, I believe, could have a similar situation. I don't know exactly what his deal is with DMG, but like, that's there you go, JJ. I just used 8 cases by myself on Saturday. Shout out to HK. So yeah.
Well, what's funny is I was just talking to our buddy Carter. We have a golf buddy. He has no affiliation to paintball. I don't think he's ever played in his life, but we were just randomly talking the other day. I was like, I just got back from playing paintball. We had this. He's like, it's just for fun. I was like, yeah, we have the Aftermath guys bring us out paint to play them because they're building up their team. And he's like, how many cases did you shoot? Like, how much paint did you shoot? And I was like, I don't know. I probably shot like 5 or 4 to myself. And then he's like, how much would that usually cost? And I was like, well, if I didn't have a paint connection, then that could cost me anywhere from like $30 up to $60 per case. And he's like, it costs that much? And I was like, yeah, it gets up there, you know.
A lot of people equate paintball to golf too.
Really,
it's like,
yeah.
Because like when you were to go play Torrey Pines, when we did, or you just played it the other
Yeah,
day. If you're not a resident, you're paying $250 to play there for the day.
Yeah.
And then you're losing. How many balls did you lose?
Like found a bunch, so it kind of evened
Exactly.
out.
You know, if
I'm a good scavenger.
If you're on the high end and you're hitting the $5 balls, you lose. You know, I think when we played with Anthony, we got on the course for like less than half that, but then I lost. So we spent $87 or something like that for $100 for the round with the cart. Yeah, I lost about 5 balls. Those things cost like $4 or $3 a pop. Yeah, you know, and then like you got a hot dog or a tuna sandwich at the back 9.
I always like, it's my goal if I hit the ball out that I can't find it. When I go to look for it, I'm like, I'm not leaving this area without finding another ball. Yeah, in the woods over there.
Yeah, and in that's another thing so here's another huge difference. In California, you can regularly get paint for $30 or under on a retail level if you're at the paintball field. If you're a walk-on and you've never played paintball before, you're probably paying $60. But I know that like I think Fran charges right around $30 to $35. It's the Wild West out here. Yeah, you're gonna get a good deal on paint out here, rather than on the East Coast because he made it. Mike was like, it costs to ship a container of paint out to Florida costs $8,000.
Wow.
So like, think of it that way. So every case that the field has to sell you is gonna cost almost double out there because they have to ship it all the way over there. And depending on where you are, it's a little different. And then also whatever paint does come from Asia out here can also be sold out here for really cheap because it just lands right there.
And something also on top of that I was talking to Hinman, and it's kind of, you know, veering off a little off topic here, but this was something that's kind of sat with me pretty hard is Dave, you know, I've listened to Dave Cheney's podcast on Play the Game with Marcel and them, and he really talks about, and I know you guys could all probably attest for the same thing when they're like, when did you know you loved paintball? And most people say it's the first time you ever played. You were like, you played that one time and you got addicted. There was no like, it wasn't till like the 10th time I played that's when I fell in love with it. But a lot of that comes down to like, who knows if the first time we ever played paintball, if we would have went out and paid $60 for a case of paint and that paint was crap, and you didn't shoot anyone and it hurt really bad because you just got shot all day and you didn't shoot one person, you might not be where you are today, you know?
Yeah.
And him and I were talking about how important that is to curate that first time for a player, because that's going to
I fight with that every single field I go to. I fight with them about that. Yeah. And I fight with HK about it all the time, and I even fight with the owner of the paint factory about it. Yeah. And I go, you guys need to make a brightly colored paintball and say, the field owner gets no choice. There's no choice of this gray, milky ball that doesn't shoot straight. Like, I'm just not going to sell it to you. Yeah. And that should be a standard across the board. Like,
I mean, it's
unfortunately it's not.
It's longevity too. It's just like, you know, companies going green and putting more emphasis on being a sustainable company is the same concept in a sense, because you're like, if you don't adapt now, like, these companies are all becoming more sustainable, even though it's costing them millions and billions of dollars, because they know, like, if they don't create that structure now, there's going to be nothing later on, because
or someone else is going to do it, or someone just is going to go there and go, I'm going to spend the extra dollar or two because this is a better quality product. Yeah,
so spending, you know, setting a budget of like an extra $100,000 or whatever as a paint company to make better quality paint, it might delay some of your profits in general, but like, you're setting yourself up.
The problem is not with the paint manufacturer. It's because if it's with the field owners. Yeah. So even though their cost is only going up $2 or $3, and they're still selling it like on the East Coast, $60 a case for Gabe, $55 a case up there. Yeah. $40 to $60 for Loyal Blue Fox, $90 a case for Corey Myers. My goodness. So depending on where you are, but like the thing is, the
120 if you're in Australia.
Yeah, 280 I think is what Mike charges retail. So and there's a place in Canada. Forgot what it's called, but it's only retail. I think they charge $250 a case.
Oh my god.
But anyway, the thing is, like, you're right. You want the retention. And that's where there's a big problem, and there's a huge disconnect. Is a lot of fields go, I'll pay $14 a case or $18 a case, and I don't care about the how much fun these people have. I want them to shoot that paint, and then give me my gear back so I can clean it and give it to the next person.
Yeah.
Instead of saying, all right, look, you're gonna pay an extra $2 or $3 a box, okay, and that's you got 100 cases say on his pallet, so you're gonna pay an extra $200 or $300 for every pallet we ship in. But we can guarantee you that each player is going to shoot more paint because they can see the paintballs go.
Yeah.
And I always tell people, if you own a field, if you're listening to this and you own a field, build a target range. If you don't have a target range, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah, I used to love target range.
You're going to shoot 100 paintballs right there.
Yeah.
So
especially if you have a bad day and you're getting shot a lot, you're like, I'm just going to go shoot this little mannequin and this little silver plate that's hanging on the string.
I'm having a great time.
Yeah.
But if you're shooting something and the paint is, it doesn't have to be tournament fill, but it should be somewhat bright. So that way, when you're getting shot, like I remember when I get shot, like when I was a kid, it was like, it hurt, but I had this bright purple paint just stuck on me.
Or at least get like straight out of your gun first of all, too.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a lot to it. And I am willing to bet, and I've said this to a lot of the manufacturers and fields, I go, I'm willing to bet that your cost of $300 a skid, say, will be consumed by the player because they're going to shoot
the field
because they're going to come back. They're going to have way more fun.
Yeah.
But even more, they'll probably end up shooting. If you give Team A 10 guys and they all have gray paintballs with white milky paint in the inside, they can't shoot straight. Yeah. And you give Team B another 10 guys, all of whom have never played paintball before, and you send them out there, and these guys can shoot straight. The paint is bright yellow, and they can actually, there's a stimulation when they see the ball come out of their gun and explode on something. Yeah. They're gonna have more fun and probably either stay out there or just continue to shoot their paint at people. And they're gonna probably consume more paintballs than someone else. Than Team A. Right. And I think that there's some science into that. That a lot of manufacturers probably understand, but they don't want to risk losing that field that's buying 1,000 cases or 2,000 cases of paint because they're going, well, we don't offer that product anymore. They're just going to go, I'm going to go to GI. They're going to sell me the lousiest paint they got, and I'm going to make my margins. I'm going to sell it to these kids. I don't care if they come back ever again. Because I'm just going to make this money. And that's not all field owners by any means, but that is a general consensus between a lot of people out there. And to answer JJ's question really quickly, the gray HK ball hurts. You might have gotten hit with a lower end paintball that is developed for wintertime, which is probably a thicker, harder shell. So that's it.
If you guys are ever at some of these, I've seen some of what you guys are writing here. If you're ever at a field where the paint costs this astronomically high amount and you open the cases and there's problems in there, like I'm sure they have a good system that you can be like, hey, this bag's broke, but like if they don't, you need to open the box in front of them and check it with them right there. You know, not like take the box away and be like, well, we don't know if you broke that, do it in front of them.
For sure. I want to give a shout out to Slarian real quick for the golf ball fund.
Thank you.
He chucked in 25 to buy us a sleeve or two of balls. We might have to go play again. Kyle does have some clubs. Is that Young Sloan?
One thing I did want to go just backtrack a little bit really quick too was we're talking about teams that feed into whether it's a pro team or just a semi-pro team. There's like a common issue where a lot of times people are like, well, that's a pyramid scheme, or like they pay way more and they fund the pro team. Like, yes, that does happen, but at the same time, like those programs are set up because it's giving you an ability to, and you guys probably see it on here a lot. They're like, well, there's only like 1 or 2 teams around here, and I can't get on the team. Like those feeder teams and those organizations are set up because it's giving you structure to move up. Yeah, you're gonna have to. It's like this is life. Like you might have a job that you're getting paid way less than maybe your manager, and you're doing all the work and your manager isn't. But like it's all just time. Like that manager maybe stayed with that business for 10 years. He did that same crappy work that you did that you're doing now. It's the same idea in paintball. It's like life is unfair, and so you build up, you put your time in, and then you're going to be at that point, and you're going to be thankful that there's players underneath you that are paying for you for all that work you did in. So it's a cycle. So just wanted to touch back on that because I do hear that a lot, and it kind of bothers me.
It is somewhat necessary. It's like a necessary
evil.
Well, it's not. Yeah, I wouldn't even call it evil. But
not
it's
evil.
definitely necessary. But that's how the paintball machine moves forward.
Yeah.
Right. And if you are able to create your own team with your own guys and not do that, then go that route. Then do that.
Yeah.
But for sure, don't discount a program just because you're like, well, I have to pay these dues. Because usually with those dues, you should be getting a discount on something.
Yeah.
And I've always said that is like feeder teams will always have some sort of discount that trickles down. So you're either paying full retail or you're a member of the program and you're paying a certain amount and you're getting that experience. You're meeting people, like we said, and that's a huge way for you to get your foot in the door and to continue playing. And then hopefully at the end, you're on the pro team.
Yeah.
Right? And you're helping to cultivate that talent.
Yeah,
that's coming up.
I remember I had to have this talk with Scott when he first started working at the gym because remember he was like, the manager is getting all this money, he doesn't do shit, and I'm like, Scott, you just started. You've only been there for 3 months. How long is the guy working? He's like, I don't know, 10, 15 years. I'm like, dude, just give it a little bit of time. Like,
yeah, this is bullshit. I need to be paying more right away. It's like that's not always how it works.
Yeah.
But that's a really important takeaway, like, right? Because Scott has since then moved up the ladder really quickly. And so if you
now he's crushing it,
and if you have the talent to do that, get into the program, show everybody that you have the talent. Don't just assume that you have it, and then be like, oh, I'm just gonna crush it. Like, just go out there because there might be some some realization that like, oh, I do need a lot of work, right? Which is why when we get the messages, when someone's messaged me on Dynasty's Instagram or my Instagram and says, hey, can I get a tryout? I go, well, we're not really picking anybody up right now, but what's your experience level?
Yeah.
Right? Because if you're really big in your small pond, that's one thing. And if I don't know who you are, it's no fault of my own, but like that's probably because I haven't played against you.
Yeah.
And if I haven't played against you, there's a good chance that you're not going to really have the skill set that's going to be immediately to make it onto Dynasty.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that you can't come out and watch and be like, I can do this.
Yeah.
And we've had plenty of kids, and you know this, like even when you're playing on Dynasty, it's like someone's been like, hey, can I jump on? And we'll be like, yeah, come on out. Like, who cares? Like, especially if it's the first weekend of the layout. Like, don't come the weekend before the layout or our Thursday practice at the NXL and be like, can I get a point?
Yeah.
Like, probably not.
Yeah.
But there's definitely time and places for it. And if you come out there and you shoot a bunch of guys, that's actually how Warpath. I remember we let Warpath play us one time. I think you were on the team back then. When they came out and they're like, hey, can we run a point? I'm like, yeah, let's do it. And then I think we ran like 3 or 4 points against them. They almost beat us one point, actually.
Yeah.
They almost beat us. So it's like, great, like jump in there and let's have some fun. But it doesn't hurt to ask. That's a really important thing. And that's a big takeaway with Sean Stern, right? And the BKI program in general, and Trent Nita, is like they met us all through one of the events, the Combine, or the summer camp, or just being through the BKI library for so long that they messaged us, they built a relationship, and now he goes, hey, I literally was like, you know what, I need to take the initiative and just ask. And he messaged Kyle and says, hey, can I come out and practice? It helps that we know those guys. And Trent's like, yeah, I'll be out in San Diego also. I'm going to try to come out there and make a name for myself.
Yeah.
So, but it takes time. You have to be in the programs. There's got to, like, it's not like if I don't know you, no, I'm not going to have you come over to my house.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
and that goes back into what I was saying about you have to show effort, and that can't be translated just through, you messaging, pro guy and be like, hey, I played a couple semi-pro events. Like, you have to, it has to be built that, that trust and the willingness for us to put, give our time to someone that actually, wants to put in a lot of effort.
Let's answer a couple of these questions in here. I see. I want to answer Austin Leclerc's. Ryan, do you only shoot the Force now? So yes, I do. The only Planet Eclipse gun that I've shot is that EMEC, the plastic one, because I have the Twister one, and then I shoot my my autococker, my free flow autococker from time to time, only on a walk-on basis or just like kind of playing for fun or in one of those 10-man mech events. I saw another one, Noah Mooser PB. what are those weird masks in the background? Those are actually African tribal masks that I picked up from around the world. Most of them are from, I think all 3 of them are from Africa. The one on the right might not be. I've got a bunch from like the South Pacific as well, and Australia and Asia. I started collecting masks. I just can't have them all in the house because they're actually kind of creepy, and Camille doesn't want them in here, and Sloan might be kind of terrified. But actually, the top 3 right there, I believe all 3 of these ones, the one with the funny bunny ears, the one on the left, and the one on the far right are all from Central West Africa, a country called Gabon, and the one on the bottom is from Central East Africa. I believe it's Tanzania. Now that I remember, I've been to Africa a handful of times. I love it. They do come alive at night. Yeah, these actually protect us at the house. Then let's see here. What other questions? Let's do this. Let's hit the like button really quickly. I'm gonna spin the wheel here, and we're gonna give away these goggles.
Right,
we got the hat
here.
Yep. Hit the like button.
No,
we got
here.
100 people watching, 102, and we only have 53 likes. I'm not disappointed, but we could do a little better.
I think maybe 2 would be people that have already liked it, and then actually no, they should have more.
Smash
than
the
that,
like button. Don't break the computer, but smash that like button for sure. Field paint in Denmark is $150 per case. That's pretty steep, yeah. But again, shipping it over there. Do you guys use ProShar out there? Because I know that ProShar might be a little bit cheaper because it is manufactured in Europe. That's for sure. And I do know that ProShar makes pretty decent paint. It's a pretty high quality ball.
Yeah.
We shot that over in Europe when we were on the ML Kings. And then I want to give a shout out really quickly. I got this in the mail today. This came from he's a welder, and he hit me up to give me. He sent over a jersey of mine that he had bought and wanted me to sign it. So this came in the box as well. This came from Shane Schreiber, I believe. Yeah, Schreiber. What is it? How do you pronounce that last name? Cyber. Seiber. Cyber. Shane Cyber. So this is kind of cool. It was like a little dragon welded thing, and he signed the back for me.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So this will be going up in the office out and back. I wanted to give you a quick little shout out before I forgot. Also, really quickly before we get into those, we got a little bit of an NXL update.
All right.
Do you hear all this? I think you know everything. So
Maybe.
The first event, which we originally announced as March 14th weekend, is actually not going to happen anymore. They canceled it.
Okay.
They're pushing that. The first NXL event is going to be May 1st weekend. And I believe that means that they're going to do those, what we talked about. Remember, we talked about a couple of hypothetical ideas and concepts back a handful of shows ago where they're going to do 4 events and then a Super Cup.
Oh, nice.
Right? So the way that they're going to do them, I don't know. I'm actually going to find all the info out on Wednesday. He didn't want to tell me. Tom didn't want to tell me. He might have known that I might have
That we
given it all.
allegedly have a show.
Yeah. I do believe that the first event is going to be in Florida. The second event might be in the Northeast somewhere, like either the Chicago,
Rhode Island,
Maine. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
What are some of those other
Nantucket.
smaller states up there?
Yeah, way up there. And then so somewhere in the Northeast or Chicago, I guess that's the Midwest. And then I believe the final event will probably be in Florida again. It didn't seem like there's going to be many events out here on the West Coast, and one of the reasons in the way
San
that
Diego event.
no San Diego event. Unfortunately, no. I'm really hoping that they bring San Diego back.
They're thinking it's probably going to rain. Yeah. Right?
Yeah, it's rained one time this whole year.
Yeah.
Well, all of last year, if I remember. It hasn't rained yet this year. It's only 4 days in. So it looks like they're going to do 4 events and then the Super Cup event. There might be a couple of these standalone events, and I don't know if they're going to count for any points. But I did hear that there's a possibility that Dave's going to maybe throw an event.
I haven't heard that.
Sometime in March. So that's a possibility that they're going to have one there and or at in Chicago as like one of those feeder events that West Coast teams can play on the West Coast events and East Coast teams can play on the East Coast events, and then still it'll count for some sort of scoring system. And then again, they take the top 8 teams onto the Super Cup,
Yeah,
and then 2 international teams.
Okay.
And then it's guaranteed money once you
Nice.
make Super Cup.
Wow.
Which is nice. That's
Yeah.
actually really nice because again, and we never really like figured out what we figured a winning season would be.
Yeah.
Right? Is it top 4, or is it winning, like having to win an event? Because a winning season could also now be like making it to the Super Cup. Could you make a team that could
True.
make it to in the top 8
Yeah.
for 100K? I think so.
Yeah.
You would
I mean,
definitely
I
need
think
to
you-
hire some talent.
I think we should leave winning to you have to at least win one event.
Then I think it'd be really tough. Because again, like look at the Russians. They spend well over $100,000, and they didn't win an event.
Yeah, I think. Well, it's not win. You're not winning.
But I would
You don't
consider.
win.
You're
I
right.
say
They
like
don't
the
have a
top.
winning season.
You
Yeah.
if you want a top level team, let's say that, and then you look for. I think you even leave top level as top 5. One of the top. You rank within the top 5 teams,
Yeah.
or maybe even top 4.
Top
teams.
4.
Yeah.
If you make the top 4, and JJ, Bud, they should have an all-star game. You're right, or a skills competition
Yeah.
to find out the best player.
Yeah.
Well, you know what they do? We already have a skills competition. It's called the Paintball Combine, and it's actually happening this weekend in Boston. There's
Yeah.
a couple spaces available. There's only 10 spots available for Arizona at the end of the month.
Yeah.
So that's pretty big, and that's the best place. Well, unfortunately, pros haven't really adopted the combine drills yet.
Mm-hmm.
But there are plenty of players that we have in our massive player pool that have given their skills and they're ranked.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that we can still continue to build on and just kind of keep getting those
Those metrics.
those metrics in the can and online. So it's a pretty cool thing. So if you don't know anything about the Paintball Combine, check out paintballcombine.com. If you want to sign up for it, check that out. G2 is still planning on giving away a free entry, but as the days move on, it looks like you want to bring up their Instagram.
Yeah.
As the days move on, it looks like that goal of getting 2,000 followers for G2 is getting a little tougher. We're about we're under 1,300 still. So if we do hit 2,000, G2 Paintball will give away a free entry to the Paintball Combine in Arizona. It might actually fill up completely before we hit 2,000. So regardless if we do hit 2,000 on there, maybe we'll just convince him to give us like a massive set of prize packages.
Yeah.
So everybody
Like
who's
that.
watching this, pull up your Instagram and follow G2 Paintball. And if we don't hit 2,000 before the combine or before it gets sold out, then I'll spin it and see if we can get at least the entrance fee worth of giveaways. So maybe $400, $500 worth of freebies to give out. I still
sounds
do have
great.
a G2 jacket. G2 jacket's actually going to be given away next week. Also, there was one T-shirt that wasn't given away last time.
Oh,
Yeah, we never got an address.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so guys, big thing. Before we start jumping into the giveaways here in a second, if you guys win something, make sure we have your address. Also, if you guys are mega support status members, make sure I have your address so I can start packaging up your cups and your welcome posters.
We're not hard to find.
Yeah,
This isn't the Oval Office. You can find a way to contact us.
You can contact us. You can contact us. Ask us for a tryout.
David Reed, I agree. We do need a new paintball video game. I loved Greg Hastings. I think that was one of my favorite pastimes. I spent way too much time doing that. But maybe you should hit up Greg Hastings and tell him to make another game.
Yep. I think he's probably been developing that. That'd be a good person to get some info on it. You gonna make a new one?
Yeah.
All right, so we got some trivia for you guys. We got a wheel that we're gonna spin for these goggles. We've got this hat to give away, the gloves to give away, and these goggles are gonna be the big ticket item. So to win these goggles, you have to be a member of the show, and then if you are a mega support status, you're gonna get one of these cool mugs that, well, it's gone cold now, so it's all black. But when you put hot water in it, you get to unveil the secret message that's inside. The message looks a lot like this little logo right here. This is hard to do still. I still haven't got this down. So we're gonna spin the wheel for this. Let's see. Do you want to do the trivia? Should we do the trivia for the gloves or the hat?
Let's do it for the hat. I just thought of a good trivia for these
Okay.
HK gloves.
Okay. All right. So my trivia is for, and this is for everybody, but in the member section, you all get a series of emojis. There's some cool ones. I've still left the Grinch in there. We got the 2021 emoji. But the emoji that I'm popping up right here, tell me what this means. I think that's a good way of putting it.
Mm-hmm.
So for anybody who knows what that symbol or that emoji kind of comes from, I actually made that.
You did?
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a mount. Yeah, so it is actually wants to be I wanted it to be the amount of members. Smurmers, 110%. I do like that term. So we were actually at prior to this show, when this last show ended, when our last show ended, there it is. Ooh, Drew Connolly. Got it. 110. I do like 110% though. So it's actually a speed limit sign throughout Europe. That's what speed limit signs out there look like. Yeah. And I believe that's the equivalent of approximately 65 miles an hour. I believe it's like 62. Who out there really quickly knows the conversion? How many kilometers in a mile?
Is it like 2.7 or something?
Anybody else? This is just kind of like a bonus fun one. But Drew Connolly.
Oh, Davis said did he not get that first?
It was right the same time.
Oh, it
Speed
was,
limit in
yeah.
kilometers an hour.
Yeah, you had it right after Davis.
And I kind of actually like Davis's answer a little bit better because the other one was just kilometers. But and the goal, David Reed, is to get to 110 members. Davis, I'll give you a consolation prize. But did anybody get? There we go. 1.61. There it is. 3.1. Nope. Davis, it was the exact same number. I'm gonna give you a consolation prize.
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah, I got some other stuff.
All right, I'm gonna give you this quick trivia. So I switched my number on my jersey when I left Dynasty and went back to the Ironman.
I know the answer.
And then I switched it back to my number when I went back to Impact. Why did I switch my number? For what reason?
Are you gonna give the numbers or
No, I mean everyone knows that's easy.
Right.
It's not.
So are you saying why?
Yeah,
or
yeah.
What number that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're a beast. I like that. And I think we already talked about why you liked 85. Wasn't that your original? Your
85, yeah, because I loved Ocho Cinco.
Cinco.
And I kind of feel like a wide receiver. Like, that's my role on the paintball field.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on the outside.
Yeah, I still think it's running back.
Oh, you think it's running back. That's
Yeah.
right, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Weaverton got it because of Brandon Short. It was kind of like, he had retired, and it was kind of like to honor him. And he taught me a lot of the game and was probably one of my biggest idols growing up because he was crushing it as I was coming up. So I wanted to be just like him. So it was kind of like in honor of him. So congrats, Weaverton. You got these. These are XL.
All right, let's go.
Do we have Weaverton's address? I think we might. Just send
see
it to
here.
us anyways.
I think we do. Yeah, I still got it.
Oh, you got it. All right.
Yeah. You can send it to us anyway if you want. Always as a safety, just in case. If you want to send us the address, it's always a safe bet. All right, we're gonna be spinning the wheel right now. I've updated everybody's info to make sure that we all know that some of you guys are. I'm gonna shuffle them up.
Wait, so why did you do the
110?
Yeah.
Well, because at the last show we had 104 members.
Oh, okay. So it was
and then
both.
So it was like I wanted to make 110. Oh, no, I made the sign. I was like, how am I going to make 110 logo?
Okay.
And then when I was looking around, I was like, oh, you know what? You know what I've seen? Because I miss Europe so much that's why another reason we put the 110 in there.
I
was like, oh man, I wish we'd go to Europe.
Yeah.
And then that's a speed limit sign because I don't have to drive.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of like what I made it.
I got you.
And now we're back down to under 100 because I'm probably pretty sure like once the new year happened, some people didn't like. It just like it's okay.
Yeah.
we get it.
Realize they spent too much on the Christmas gifts.
And then next thing you know,
cut back.
So this is for the goggles right here. This is going to be for the Team USA goggles, right here, limited edition. I'm going to ship these things out. We'll sign the box for you guys, and someone's gonna win these things right now. One of our members. So
there we go.
Let's go over here to the wheel. All right, everybody. Hold on. Here it is. Dun, 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 dun. I do want to we should make a wheel logo. Here it is. And for the win.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Whoa. There we go.
J Stu.
Shout out to J Stu. Coming in with a new hot pair of goggles. Was he even in the chat tonight?
Yeah. He's been live.
Okay. We asked two.
I read most of the comments,
chats,
and
yeah.
Ryan is dealing with the technology stuff.
Technology. Congrats to J Stu.
Yeah, it worked.
There we go.
Rigged.
I know. Sometimes I just go in there and I spin it for fun, just to like see. Remember when we were doing the when it was me, Marcelo, Kyle, Archie, and we were just spinning it and for euros out there.
Yeah.
Rainey is a degenerate gambler.
Yeah.
And so he always has to be gambling, and that's where we found this thing. I think we told everybody that.
Yeah.
And it was like we would just constantly be spinning it.
It was like if we were gonna buy like a drink or when we went out to eat, it was like who's gonna.
Sometimes it was just when we were sitting in the back of the car.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, who wants some action?
Yeah.
Put your name on or take your name off.
Yeah, for $1. Everyone else puts in $1.
Yeah.
We spin it.
This
Who
is a
gets
fun
$1?
one. So down there, J Stu. I knew who was gonna win the wheels even spun.
It might be rigged. Who knows? J Stu has just intercepted all the technology we have.
Yeah. We need to get to the bottom of this J Stu thing.
J Stu, can you help us set up our spyware over here?
We also determined that this month, for each giveaway, we're gonna be giving away pads. You know, you want to start the season. I saw Trent Nita out there. Did you see the arm pads that he had?
Mm-mm.
You didn't see his arm pads. This kid was wearing arm pads like he looked like he got them out of the trash can, and they were made out of cardboard. These things were so blown out.
Oh, man.
So I know I've got 2 or 3 extra pairs of knee or arm pads.
I think I have some extra
and
carbon.
We want to make
Planet
sure.
Eclipse ones, too.
Yeah, we want to make sure that you guys are protected as you guys get out there and start drilling.
Yeah.
So this is us being as thoughtful as possible, and making sure that you guys are getting, are staying healthy. Okay, we want to keep you guys healthy. And then you always gotta wear protection. That's right, Andy.
Yeah, Sean banged his knee up too.
That's right. Sean did hit his knee on a stake. All right, does anybody have any other questions out there that we can answer before
If you guys really think the wheel's rigged, we can just give you guys a couple test spins here if you want.
Is that what people are saying?
I feel like they kind of think it is. Unless you guys are joking.
Didn't you spend money on that?
Oh, wow. Steve's got Oliver's last knee and elbow pads. Maui Rockstars was right there. I know. Maui Rockstar, I need your address also, though, by the way. I do need your address. Spanky Snipes, I need your address. You want a 20-year patch last week, bud. Spanky Snipes, shoot us your address. We need your... remember, if you guys win, there's no way to get your prizes unless you've given us your addresses. So...
Thanks. Steve Frazier said he'll buy that mask for $50. JC said no.
So next week, we're going to be doing the show regular time. What time does your flight land from Boston?
Like 7, I think.
PM?
Around when yours is.
Oh, no. On the way home.
Oh. 12?
Okay, yeah. So we're going to be doing the show at the regularly scheduled time next week on Monday, and we are going to be covering all things Boston.
Snow.
Snow. There's
Black
gonna be
ice.
Yeah, Kyle's really pumped for
Brick
snow.
buildings.
Brick buildings.
Clouds.
Basements.
Basements.
Basements are big ones.
Traffic. Yeah.
Trying to
Construction.
Construction. I don't know if anybody has ever driven around in Boston, but to get to and from the airport, you have to go underwater a lot.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of underwater driving.
Well, you were just on the phone with Anthony the other day.
Yeah,
and he got lost in the airport, which
lost.
you and I have both got
done.
I think,
driving a box truck or Escalade full of campers.
I mean, I think I've done that trip now 6 times, and it's taken me a different way to the airport every time. Yeah.
You lose GPS signal when you're under there, and the dot on the blue dot is just gone.
And he called Ryan back, and he's like, I just want to let you guys know I'm very frustrated right now because I'm just put me 30 minutes out of the way. I'm like, well, we know.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Yeah, the big tunnel project. Yeah, so good luck with all of that. Jeffrey Santo, we'll see you out there. That's for sure. And everybody else who's coming out there. That was, I think that's about it.
Yeah.
Oh, another really big thing that's going to happen here in the next hour is I get to eat my the last of my rations for the day. I'm pretty excited about that. I started my fast, my PROLON fast right there, and
it's all 3 stages of the peanut brutal throughout the day.
Yeah. You just eat peanut brutal for breakfast, and then the medium one for lunch, and then you finish the day. But yeah, I've been extra cranky today. So that one's gonna be fun. I can't wait to tell everybody. I can't wait until Friday when I actually get to eat something like a meal.
Oh, man.
Friday night.
Yeah.
Dinner in Boston Friday night. It says I wonder what my stomach's gonna feel like.
I don't know if you're gonna make it.
I'm gonna make it. I think today I did pretty well. I get to eat some minestrone soup after today, but let's see what's on the docket real quick for tomorrow. So this is what my meals look like every day. If they're in a box like this, this is for the whole entire day.
Can you drink unlimited water?
Yeah, unlimited water.
Okay.
So I've got this. I got this drink that I have to do at the end of the day. I've got 2 soups, right? I got mushroom soup mix and minestrone quinoa. This one I'm looking forward to. This one. I'm really looking forward to this.
That's tomorrow.
This is tomorrow. I've got
some lollipops.
These are really good. You've never liked olives more in your life than the olives. This is what I had for lunch. I had a pack of olives.
Are they
don't
smush? I just want to feel them.
Don't smush them. No, they're just like in there.
Oh, okay.
And then I got this. This is my dessert for tomorrow. I get a dessert. This is my dessert tonight also.
Can you have coffee?
I believe so. Yeah. Because coffee has no calories. So this will be interesting. I'm pretty bummed about. Well, I'm pretty excited about eating these olives tomorrow. I didn't get any kale chips. I got kale chips today. I don't have kale chips tomorrow. So.
Flushable wipes. He's not gonna have anything in it.
Yeah. What do I need the flushable wipes for? And I have a baby also. So we got those on deck.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Thank you.
I want to thank everybody very much for tuning in. We will see you guys on Monday of next week. Young Sloan is a little angry right now, so we're gonna go play with her. And shout out to everybody.
All right. Later, guys.
I cannot breathe, I can't see, I can't look in between. I cannot breathe, I can't see, I can't look in between.